It's a new day. I'm gonna take my time with the Venus readings. 4 elements. I knocked down 1 element. 3 more to go. I'm gonna share with y'all a story. When the day that I got discharged from the hospital. At the time, my husband wasn't my husband at the time, but he was in the room with me, and I was so happy to drop that baby. But I'm so hood. I'm in front of the mirror. I put on the little YouTube. I said, starting on my day with a brother first. Hey, no pancake, just a pepper syrup to talk about me. He said, you look like you doing fine. This shit was so damn funny. I'm talking about I'm in there. Yeah, I'm back, bitch. Yeah, I'm back, bitch. Did you miss me? I'm talking about, I'm looking at my stomach. Cause I only gained like 15 pounds during my pregnancy. And so my stomach just kind of like, boom. But everything else, because I was breastfeeding, everything else was there. That shit was funny. Y'all understand, like, I'm just one of them females, like, I've been through so much growing up. Just being the only girl, but the toughest one out of the 3. This shit crazy. Everything because you got a pretty face and a sweet spirit. You supposed to be like goody 2 shoes or a hoe or something like that. And pretty bitches be in the trap too. Shout out to the girl, what's her name? Summer. But pretty bitches be in the trap too. Trust me. That's the one everybody respect. Because they rather see the hustle in you and other ways in your body. Because they know you ain't going to be the type to fuck with their friends or fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know you ain't going to be that type. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, if you dealing with type of niggas, that's all they deal with, they going to look at you and be like, oh, that's what you're. And they, especially when they don't know nothing about who you were, they come up with all kind of shit. Because they only dealt with hoes. So, I don't know. I don't know. But money don't make me come unless it's mine and I made it on my own. Not because I got it from coming. You know what I'm saying? Hell nah. And yesterday I was just feeling like, man, I'd be damned if I let a county jail bitch trick me out my spot when I've been taking penitentiary chances with penitentiary niggas. We don't have penniforms and shit like that. It's either county or penitentiary. Fuck that shit. That shit lit me on fire. Because I ain't going to keep having that type of room going around. That shit pissed me off. Niggas who do that shit, they weak as hell for that. I don't like shit like that. I actually wrote letters to niggas I was fucking with. I actually went and visit niggas I used to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like the post I posted the other day. Dude, you know what I'm saying? He actually he an artist. But I was just regular degular working at the hospital. But you couldn't tell me I wasn't wearing his shirt because, you know, you go online and it was like, you know, it was the help. And I didn't have that much at that time because I had bills. So, shoot, I rocked that shirt, shoot, every chance I could. When it came in, it was pink. And it had his face on there like an image. And yeah, he was from Baton Rouge. And shit. And I had, shit. I don't even know if I said I bought them out, but I've done that. Bought niggas out. Took them to their court dates. All that shit. Hell, when I went into labor, I was headed to court myself. Shit. I was in court going into labor, but I didn't know. I had my son 6 weeks early. I kept saying it was Braxton Hicks. That lady said, I don't think those Braxton Hicks. My mother said, I don't think those Braxton Hicks. I'm sweating. I said, I'm talking about, she said, you want to sit down? I can bring you some water. I said, yeah, you can bring me some water. I didn't know nothing. Because I was supposed to have my son May 2nd. May 2nd. He was supposed to be a Taurus. He Pisces. So my mother stayed downtown too, so I was like, she was like, where you at? Because I called her. And I said, I'm coming from court. And she stayed right around the corner. The name of the court, it was like 201. And she stayed right there off Madison. And Pauline. And so I was trying to hold my composure. And my husband, he was at work and they sent him out of town. And I was like, if I'm in labor, I don't want to go into labor without him. So I held off all the way to 9 o'clock at night. And I still didn't want to go to the emergency room because I didn't want to believe that I was in labor. So by the time I got up in there and they checked me, I hate when they do that. Oh my God, I didn't like that shit at all. I about pushed that woman and she was pregnant herself. And he said she's dilating 3 centimeters and the bag is bulging. See the what's it called? I can't think of it. The thick I can't think of it. But it was like my labor really started while I was doing somebody's hair. at the house because my house was set up. Like, as soon as she left, I went to the bathroom. And I'm talking about I'm wiping and all this thick stuff. And when I came out, I told her, because, she had kids. I was like, what does it mean when this thick stuff come out you? And she said, baby, you going into labor. And I called my best friend. She said, you going into labor. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. I was in denial for about 3 days. I went in the court thing happened the very next day. Because I was telling the lady, I said, ain't no way I got court tomorrow. I'm walking across that big old parking lot where you had to pay for parking. Because I parked right by the projects. And then I walked through like this big old parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And cross popular and everything. I'm talking about as I'm going through it, I'm like, it was coming. But I was like, then it went away. And my mind, I'm like, man, I done dealt with stuff tougher than this. Baby, child will bring you down to your knees. Oh, the baby in your stomach, they bring you down to your knees. But it's like a complete blessing because it's like my son, he was something else even in my stomach. He was something else. He was always, you know how your mother look at you and they always know something that's special about you. And that's how I see my son. I can't put my finger on it, but he is definitely different. When I was in the labor delivery room, they didn't know whether they would have to do an emergency C-section, so I had to take all my piercings out, all of them. And so even the doctors, they were like, this is the funniest labor and delivery patient I've ever had. Because I didn't start getting epidural till I got to like 7 centimeters. I wanted to go through the water birth, but I was having so many complications. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do that. And because I would watch it all the time, and I was like, man, this is cool. And but I wasn't able to do that. But I was blessed to say that I still had him naturally, I didn't want to take any epidural. I wanted to have him. I wanted to go through everything naturally. But they was not going to let me have him until I said that. I don't know if that's just the thing or whatever, but as soon as I said, just give me the epidural, they was like, oh, you ready to have him? I said, what you think is happening? I'm talking about, I'm on oxygen. I got to lay on a certain side. I'm like, I had to take steady breaths, Then they put the little Swiss cheese between my leg. But when it was time to push, 2 pushes. But boy, when they gave me something that helped kind of speed the process up, I said, oh my God. And I had already had the epidural in me. So I'm high. Right? I'm high. I'm like, I think he's coming out of my anus. He's not coming out in the right spot. They was like, what? Everybody be like, what? I said, he's not coming out of my vagina. He is coming out of my anus. This is not right. This is not right. They just bust out laughing. I said, y'all laughing. And he is coming out the wrong way. I was like, they was like, what is going on with this girl? Then my husband, he was out the room, and my mother came in with her friend dude, and it was the first time I've ever seen him. I was so mad. I was like, I kept calling his name. Stephon! Stephon! Come in here! And because you can only have like 3 people in there, right? And his mother was already in there. And my mom, I didn't have a problem with my mom in there. But she brought her friend dude up in there. I was like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, I'm covered up, but my pussy out. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. He got to go. Stephon! Stephon! I'm hollering. He said he heard me down the hallway. I was mad. Oh my God. My mother, she kept checking the machines. I said, Mom, what you checking the machine for? I'm just looking to see. I said, Mom, you don't know what you're looking at. Get from over here. He sit by me and he held my hand all the way through during the labor delivery part. And he said, just like this after I had him and Gabari. He said, I never seen nothing like that in my life. He said, I just saw your pussy go like this. He said, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. And his mama got the camera all in there. I'm like, oh no, man. So she's showing me. She said, see, I got a picture. This how she looked. I got a picture. And I'm like, I'm still got the epidural. I said, scarf on my head. I'm like, but I couldn't say what I was thinking. But I was thinking like, what? Oh my God. She got my cat in her phone. I was y'all understand. Like when it come down to here, I'm just like, I can dress how I want to dress, but when it come down to who sees it, it means like, what the? But my mother, she was really, really good support though. Overall, she was, cause she the one called it. She called it. She said, "You going into labor? Those are not Braxton Hicks." And that was the only thing that the friend dude, my grandmother came by and saw me, and but my grandma, she came by and she left because she had to go with her buddy, her drinking buddy, Joanne. Everybody know Joanne. And so you can't knock Granny. Granny gonna do a thing, G-Ma. You know, she'll tell you, that's my G baby. So when she left, my husband, who was my husband at the time, he was out the room already because his best friend came by and they dipped off. And that's the reason why my mother was like, she was okay. She thought it was okay at the time to bring a friend to, but I just wasn't comfortable. And the best friend was a female, so my mother was like, why she up here? And me, I'm being naive. I'm like, oh, that's just a friend. But when you get older, you realize, like, yeah, that was a little inappropriate, you know? I was just happy that somebody was there to say, hey, I'm gonna step up to the plate. But yeah. They said my baby was gonna be on oxygen. He wasn't even on oxygen 24 hours. He was off of oxygen in hours. They thought he was gonna have jaundice. They kept him for that. He never had jaundice. They of course they had to check to see if he had any drugs in him. Cause you know they checked that when you have a baby prematurely. He ain't had none of that in him. He was just underweight from the fibroids. It was taking up most of the space in my womb. So even when he got out, like, let me just say this: when they thought he was gonna need help in latching, he did not need no help latching. He moved a nurse's hand. I've never seen nothing like that. And she said she never seen nothing like that. She said, excuse me. He moved a hand. And he was like, I think the next day. He latched on. No problem. When he got down to the nursery, after he had accumulated all his weight, he was calm. But then when he got fussy, he stopped crying when he heard other babies crying. He tried to look around to see where the other baby. He was looking to check on the other babies in the nursery. You know how some mothers have to teach their children how to say baby, that's a baby. I didn't have to do that with him. My son loved children. He loved children. Animals and children, he loved them. He's sweet. But he's also protective. When it comes down to me, he's very protective. Even now, because he witnessed so much arguing between me and my husband that if I raise my voice a little bit, you know, even if me and my brother just have a disagreement about something, he was like, guys, just calm down. Just calm down. And he'll try to get in front of me. Mommy, calm down. I honestly feel like my lessons, they come from my son. Because I had the street life experience in Charleston, but I actually lived a hood life, like in the hood in Memphis. So I still had a balance. Even though I was working in hospitals, I had another side to me, you know. So I was living good here at the hospital, but living a trap life on the other side. Yeah, crazy stuff happened. I had my car stolen, driven in the river, all type of shit. Here. Nothing stolen out the car. It just blocked somebody's boat. That's how they found my car. That's a story for another day. I'm telling you, I take traumatic experience and it end up being funny. Because how I react to stuff. You know what I'm saying? But when I got to Memphis, I was in school. I started going to school. Worked in the hospital. Traveled. But I was in the hood. So my attitude flared because nobody knew what I went through or the stuff that I experienced before I got there. All they knew was the abusive side. They never knew what I was into. And so, and that was, a lot of it had to do with the fact that, you know, my family, they're officers. And they don't give a fuck. They'll lock me up too. So, of course, nobody in my I never did anything with anybody here. Because I already knew what my, what my folks on. I know what type of time they on. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't play that. And my daddy get frustrated with me now. I'm like, leave them folks alone. What they do over there is nobody's business. They outside, they kicking it, they thing. That's what they do. Nobody saying nothing to y'all when y'all come outside and kick it. And you had the whole motorcycle clan over here. He told someone, I ain't had no motorcycle clan over here. I ain't had no motorcycle. I said, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Leave them folks alone. They ain't bothering you. You don't bother them. You are retired. Everybody in that family is retired. Retired. Which means they should not be doing duty. They should not be on duty. And everybody's business. It's terrible. And, yeah. I just feel like it's ridiculous to try to make someone's past become their present because you weren't there or involved or anything like that. I understand, like, folks got tough skin. Everybody don't need a savior. I guess that's why the stuff that people were doing recently, like, they don't faze me. No form of fashion. They do not faze me. Why? Because I've been through worse. Like, my son was the only person that could soften me up. But at the same time, my son is my karma. Oh, yeah, that's my karma. Can nobody bring karmatic justice like he can? Nobody. Can nobody bring it like him? Nobody. That boy is the only one that can shift my emotions. Not nobody attached to him. Not nobody surrounding him. Nothing. That's the only one that can shift my emotions by himself, his little self. And I'm tough. I'm tough as nails. That boy is just like me times 20. Times 20. I'm talking about times 20. Y'all talking about Cherry outspoken. Shoot, you ain't met Gabari. Cherry, you can't tell Cherry what to do. You ain't met Gabari. Your nerves. If you can't handle me, you can't handle my son. You can't handle my son. He's sweet. Oh, he's sweet and precious. But he can dominate energy. And I know a lot of them old school folks like, you just need to whoop them. Back in the day, you can't do that. And if you do, what that gonna do? I was telling my mother the same. She kept saying, she was like, well, maybe you did this, maybe you did that. Maybe. She came down here and saw what I was saying. She said, I said, Mom, you still gonna keep it for the summer? Child, I can only do 3 days. That's all she said. She said, I can't do the whole summer. And you gonna have to be there with me. I'm telling you, my child. She said, I don't even think you were like this. It's not a game. That boy, he's serious. He's masculine. And you know you got those folks. You just let him control. Control the bee. He's bad and uncontrollable. No. It's not that at all. He got common sense. He got full common sense. Common sense. He's actually mature. You know that one child that always got in trouble for telling the truth or making sense? What they call black sheep? That's my child. I'm just not turning my child into the black sheep because he makes sense. That's what they used to do back in the day. Beat a child for making sense. Beat a child because they got common sense in what they saying. That's what they do. Send them in the room, punish them, give them ultimate punishment. Call the police, all that stuff. Because they make sense. All because they make sense. And you have a lot of adults who feel challenged by that. You know what I'm saying? Not finna dumb my child down. Because you got an attitude. No. Then they want to blame my spiritual beliefs on why they jealous of the fact that I handle my situations accordingly. No. Spirituality got me out of the trauma that I was placed in. What they didn't know. But you gonna get mad at somebody because they chose to heal their abandonment issues and all that stuff. You mad about that? Go heal. Y'all said it. Because I know there's a whole religious cult watching me now. who she thinks she is. I think I'm a person that's trying to better myself. I think I'm a person that can hold accountable to my own issues and not let nobody tell me what my issues are. Because only I know what I've been through. I think I'm a type of person that I can go to God and pray myself. Because my prayers is just as powerful as the next person's prayer. I think I'm the type of person that would choose God over any mankind. I think I'm a person who only had God when everybody else turned their back on me, when they felt like because I was different, it was an issue. That's who I think I am. So try again. Because I think I'm a person that don't judge. That's who I think I am. And I stay positive in the meantime. Why? Everybody else was looking for the negative in me. Because I didn't do what everybody, let me tell you something. It's always going to be something wrong with what somebody is doing because they're different. Always. Always. You judge them because they don't come to church every Sunday and Wednesday. And then when they do show up, you judge them what they have on. And then when they stop going because they feel uncomfortable, you got a problem with that. You think they done turned their back on God. When they really just turned their back on you. They never turned their back on God. So try again. They did what you did. In hopes that somebody will run back crying and saying, please save me, please save me. Where's the church without the people? Just a building. Because Christ ain't everybody. It's called Christ consciousness. I don't have to control the masses. I'm not trying to do that. I'm living my life. Have a blessed.